and 2 casual laborers from their home have been arrested already to assist in the investigation. But a lot to ponder on, to think about, thinking of spending 30 years trying to make a better life for yourself in your home country, only to come back and your life is ended just like that. But looking at matters opportunities, the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs, and that is handling Uganda People's Defense Forces. The Uganda People's Defense Forces, UPDF, will conduct a recruitment exercise of 11,500 qualified citizens for regular forces and professionals, scheduled to take place from Monday, started on Monday, July 7th, and it's ending on Friday, July 11th, 2025. Online dates for the physical appearances, online, but also dates for physical appearances of the successful applicants will be announced later. So application first starts with online. Now, the recruitment process will be conducted in 2 phases. Number 1, online application phase. All aspiring candidates must submit their applications online through the official UPDF recruitment portal, that is recruitment.updf.go.ug. Candidates applying online will be required to upload an application bearing a passport photo, academic documents, and a national ID. And number 2, successful applicants shall be shortlisted and uploaded on the UPDF website and shared with respective district headquarters. Physical recruitment will take place throughout the country, covering the 135 districts and 11 cities. The shortlisted applicants will individually report at the assigned recruitment centers for the physical medical interviews with the following. That is a handwritten application bearing recommendations from the LC1, 2, 3, and GISO and DISO as well. Then national identity card, of course, with your NIN, and original and copies of academic documents, and 3 colored passport size photographs. As well as number 3, recruitment will be conducted using the population figures of each district or city of Uganda based on data from Uganda Bureau of Statistics as of June 2024, and the successful applicants will each be issued with an introduction card to be presented on arrival at the assigned training centers. Now, target categories and quotas, the recruits will be categorized into 2 batches based on ordinary academic qualifications and professionals. Lots of requirements needed there. Simply go to the website recruitment.updf.go.ug and be sure to grab yourself that opportunity of serving your nation patriotically. Once again, welcome to the show. It is Good Morning Uganda on UBC TV. Good morning, Robert.
A lovely morning to you, Julie. And of course, you began with a very sad story.
Yes.
And I was asking myself, who could have that heart to kill 2 couples? They're in 60s, both of them hit 60 and above. They have been away for 30 years. Now they come to retire and rest home. And when you look at the security, the cameras, the CCTV cameras that surrounded their home, the electric fence, everything, you would say they were aware that yes, there could be challenges, maybe because the security at their home, only that they didn't have an armed guard. But you would see, and according to some stories I've seen, either someone climbed through a tree near the fence and then fell in. But we hope and pray that police will be able to investigate and come to the bottom, so that this evil-minded person, no one deserves death as a punishment, no matter what crime they could have committed. No one deserves that. That's why even in our laws, it is there, death by hanging. But I want to tell you, I think we last hanged someone in either 1990s, something like that. It's been a very long time. The gallows are fresh, but His Excellency has not penned signature for anyone sentenced to go and be killed by hanging. So why would you give the last punishment in case you're offended in any way? Or if you're looking for wealth, take what you're taking, move away. You know, so
Indeed.
It's very sad, but we trust our security forces that they will be able to come to the bottom of the matter. Now, your work as a responsible citizen is to avail information in case you know any. UPDF is recruiting. Good news.
Yes.
Because you have a professional force. It is a force that is admired globally. Now, do not miss a chance to be part of the sons and daughters, the gallant ones in our army. Here's another opportunity for you to join the UPDF, a well-respected force with very good reputation in Uganda and outside Uganda. So go to the recruitment portal, find the details that you need to have, what requirement is needed, understand the process very well, and above all, avoid smart Ugandans. Avoid smart Ugandans. Uganda has got very crafty people who can dupe you. Please stick to the process. It is in the papers. We've spoken about it. It is online. Just go to that portal that Julie told you. You'll find everything there and follow through. Do not be duped. You know, recently I saw a con man. I think it's called Don Chris. I don't know the real name.
Yeah.
But he used Don Chris. It's all over,
right.
Even in some local media. We have smart people. A person who can dupe you, steal a lot of money from people, then run away out of the country. So even when there is this opportunity by UPDF, avoid shortcuts.
Indeed.
Avoid shortcuts.
Indeed. Like we've mentioned, the first phase of application is online, and the portal for you to access, once again, make sure that you note it. It's recruitment.updf.go.ug. Use the website and save yourself a lot of work. Robert, on that note, take us through what is on the local scene.
Oh, I will begin with President Yoweri Museveni, who commissioned the construction works of Bukasa Sentema Kakiri Road in Wakiso district. Now, the 14-kilometer road starts from Mengo Burange in Kampala via Sentema to Kakiri in Wakiso and is expected to reduce traffic congestion on the busy Hoima Road. During the ground-breaking ceremony in Wakiso, Mumyuka Sub-County, President Museveni urged the residents to concentrate on wealth creation at family level, since government is doing its part of facilitating government through infrastructure development. President Museveni also reiterated that there is need for Nansana municipality youth to always vote for supportive politicians who are aligned to service delivery other than those in the opposition. According to the president's, only NRM leaders who can deliver Ugandans to heaven. He addressed Ghetto Youth Rally from Nabweru in Nansana municipality as part of his wealth creation visit to Wakiso district. The founder of the People's Front for Freedom, PFF party, retired Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye, has urged members of his party and other opposition forces to stay focused on the struggle for democratic transformation. Besigye made the remarks during the PFF's first ever national convention and official launch held at the party's headquarters in Katonga in Kampala. Supporters of the People's Front for Freedom, PFF, from across the country flocked to the party's headquarters in Katonga to attend its first national delegates conference and official launch since being issued a certificate of registration on June 5th this year. The Parliamentary Committee on Public Accounts, PAC, has expressed deep concern over the worrying state of operations at Kawempe National Referral Hospital, citing overcrowding, shortage of medical supplies, and understaffing. The committee, chaired by Vice Chairperson Goreti Namuga, also put hospital officials on the spot over accumulation of domestic areas, including an annual electricity bill exceeding 800 million shillings. Kawempe National Referral Hospital has been in operation since 2016, offering specialized health care services to Ugandans, particularly expectant mothers, along with family planning, research and medical training. Appearing before the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee in response to the Auditor General's report for the financial year ending 2024, hospital officials led by Accounting Officer Dr. Emmanuel Biaruhanga defended the hospital's performance, claiming operations are at about 80% efficiency in terms of basic needs. The committee, however, demanded answers on why the hospital has accumulated significant domestic arrears, particularly in electricity bills and staff compensation. Concerns were raised, including congestion at the facility, limited medicines and medical supplies, and understaffing affecting service delivery. The committee has now called on government to prioritize full funding of the National Referral Hospital to ensure improved health service delivery, while urging hospital administrators to enhance planning and effective budgeting. Now, coming to the close of our local stories, the Ministry of Public Service has launched the Transformation and Transforming Civil Service in order to improve service delivery. The Public Service Minister, Muruli Mukasa, and some champions from different ministries have been selected to lead the initiative. The Minister for Public Service, Muruli Mukasa, launched the Government Empowerment Network, a collaborative initiative between the government and Instangilo, a non-profit advisory firm. Individuals from various government agencies and ministries that will champion the initiative were selected. The Permanent Secretary Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Agre Kabenge, pledged government support to the Government Empowerment Network, saying it will help the empowerment of civil servants, improving the delivery of services in crucial areas for government as it enhances citizen satisfaction, building trust, and strengthens the legitimacy of the state. Now, that brings us to the end of our local stories this morning. May you take us to the rest of the world.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Robert. And the rest of the world starts with Israel. Israel's defense minister says that he has instructed its military to prepare a plan to move all Palestinians in Gaza into a camp in the south of the territory. And Israeli media reports and says Israel Katz told journalists on Monday he wanted to establish a humanitarian city on the ruins of the city of Rafah to initially house about 600,000 Palestinians and eventually the whole 2.1 million population. He said the goal was to bring people inside after security screening to ensure they were not Hamas operatives and they would not be allowed to leave. If conditions allowed, he added, construction would begin during a 60-day ceasefire that Israel and Hamas are trying to negotiate. One Israeli human rights lawyer condemned it as nothing less than an operational plan for a crime against humanity. The UN, has also previously warned that the deportation of forcible transfer of unoccupied territory civilian population is strictly prohibited under international humanitarian law and tantamount to ethnic cleansing. There was no immediate comment from the Palestinian Authority or even Hamas itself. Now, moving on to the US, Donald Trump's White House has grandly promised 90 deals in 90 days after partially pausing the process of levying what the US president called reciprocal tariffs. In reality, there won't even be 9 deals done by the time we reach Trump's first cut-off date on the 9th of July. The revealing thing here, the poker tale, if you like, is the extension of the deadline from Wednesday until 1st August with a possibility of further extensions or delays to come. From the U.S. perspective, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says all focus has been on the 18 countries that are responsible for 95% of America's trade deficit. The jaunty letter being sent from the U.S. to its trading partners this week are simply a reincarnation of that infamous White House Liberation Day blue board. The rates are basically the same as were first revealed on 2nd April. The infamous equation, which turned out to use a measure of the size of the deficit as a proxy for the sum of all trade cheating, lives on in a form. This is all being announced without the market turmoil seen earlier this year because of this additional delay. Financial markets believe in rolling delays in the idea of tackle that Trump always chickens out, although they may embolden foot dragging on all sides that lead to a renewed crisis. Now, looking at matters affecting the motherland, South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has opposed what he calls the unilateral higher trade tariffs imposed on his country by the U.S. U.S. President Donald Trump has announced on Monday that he would subject imports from South Africa to a new 30% tariff from 1st August. It is the only country from sub-Saharan Africa that Trump singled out in his announcement, reflecting his strained relationship with Ramaphosa's government. In a letter to Ramaphosa, Trump said South Africa's trade relationship with the U.S. has been unfortunately far from reciprocal. In his response, Ramaphosa maintained the 30% tariff is not an accurate representation of available trade data. Trump's decision is a huge blow to South Africa. The U.S. is its second biggest trading partner, and South Africa's automobile, farming, and textile sectors had duty-free access to the U.S. market under the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA. South Africa's Agriculture Minister John Steenhuisen said that while Trump was not explicit, his announcement suggested the end of AGOA. Right, now let's move away from matters U.S. tariffs and have a look at what is in the dailies. Perhaps the tariffs still make it to the dailies.
While we have choices, we're in the political times now, and Eastern Uganda's choices for members of parliament. Now, there are quite a number here. According to the New Vision, I see Nandala Mafabi Budadiri West, Josephine is for a constituency there, Fred Chakulaga Kiguru North, and quite a number of them, Elijah Okupa. Some of them have been there for some time and they seem to still be the preferred choice for the people. Now, returnee couple killed in cold blood, a story we just talked about. And still the New Vision, Besigye Muntu parties unite. Then pollution, Nema boss speaks out on Kumba farmer. The story I told you of someone, they told real poultry.
After having existed for 25 years? Wow.
There is a smell we don't understand. Therefore,
being evicted in 21 days.
It is inconveniencing people. Take it somewhere else. Now we go to the Daily Monitor this morning. Murder. Okay, there is something still regarding the Joe and Kagezi, but also the murder of these returnees from Switzerland. And still, the Daily Monitor brings you how Uganda Railways lost 10 billion to 40 locomotives. But this was an interesting story. Then also we have so much of Uganda's elections, what history has there, and more of the couple there. So those are some of the stories in the Daily Monitor this morning, and of course the New Vision. But let's see what our brothers and sisters in Kenya and Tanzania have.
Starting off with Kenya, the Sabasaba protests is the story that is on the headline there of the Daily Nation, and death toll hits 31. And looking at the aftermath, more Kenyans lose their lives as injuries also mount amid growing violence in the wave of youth-led protests across the country. Looking at the economy, protests hit most sectors of the economy hard, disrupting business and travel and keeping workplaces in many towns shut. and a fresh boycott call. Opposition politicians urge Kenyans to shun businesses, services and institutions with links to President Ruto and his allies. Wow. And UN sounds alarm. High Commissioner for Human Rights voices concerned over violent turn of events during Sabasaba demonstration. Now, more of those stories, you can get yourself a copy of the Daily Nation. Also in the Daily Nation, TSC unveils new policy on teacher promotions and why new sugar millers are switching to cane by-products. But let's quickly head over to Tanzania. New hope as government caps digital transaction fees. That's a headline in The Citizen. Effective July 1st, 2025, transaction fees for both mobile and bank transfers have been capped at 5,000 shillings from a high of 12,000 shillings in a move expected to promote the adoption of digital payments. Also, who deserves a seat in parliament? That is a question there, as well as Samia to launch National Development Vision 2050 on July 17th. Also, Dar RC, why politics and religion must move in tandem. And also looking at matters, 49th DITF progress, health insurance coverage rises to 37% amid policy reforms. And that's pretty much it as to what is in the dailies. Robert, I would love to ask you, given that it's a Wednesday, which woman would you want to crush on today?
I want to crush on a particular person. I want to crush on a group of ladies in a certain profession. Now, you've just talked about the UPDF recruitment. I want to crush on all ladies in the UPDF. Of late, I've observed there are very beautiful women in UPDF. I was watching those in the SFC. They look very smart, very pretty. But don't take their beautiful lightness. They can put you where you belong in case you want to destabilize this country. Right.
That's very profound indeed. And to all the women in uniform, we salute you and thank you for serving your nation. And you actually look good.
Very smart.
Look good with a lot of authority. May that authority, you know the Bible says that implicates that there's a subtle but powerful uniqueness that God has placed on a woman. May that power be seen through that uniform and used to serve Uganda for its fullness and completeness as God expects it
How
to be.
did you miss being commissioned by Benny Hinn as a pastor? I saw Kayanja Jr. He's called Kayanja Jr. Was it inaugurated into?
Right.
But also I have Pastor Julie Nantaba. How did you miss the anointing of Benny Hinn being and now being declared? I love the way you blend in spirituality.
Oh,
every morning. Yes.
Life starts with spirituality. But speaking of women to crush on, let's enjoy some music from Juliana Kanyomozi.
Oh, wow.
Yongeza is the name of the song. Good morning, Uganda.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda. Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for choosing UBC TV. But the show is Good Morning Uganda, and indeed it is a good morning. Being ushered into the show by a song from the Watoto Children's Choir. Be Exalted is the name of the show. We are coming, is the name of the song, but we are coming to you live from the Nile Avenue at UBC TV, here to inspire you. My name is Julie Nantaba, and I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. Now, starting off with a rather sad story. Entebbe police are investigating the murder involving an elderly couple in Lugonjo, Nachiwogo, which occurred last Sunday. The victims had recently returned from Switzerland, where they had spent 30 years. And the two casual laborers from their home have been arrested already to assist in the investigation. But a lot to ponder on, to think about, thinking of spending 30 years trying to make a better life for yourself in your home country, to your home country, only to come back and your life is ended just like that. But looking at matters opportunities, the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs, and that is handling Uganda People's Defense Forces. The Uganda People's Defense Forces, UPDF, will conduct a recruitment exercise of 11,500 qualified citizens for regular forces and professionals, scheduled to take place from Monday, started on Monday, July 7th, and it's ending on Friday, July 11th, 2025. Online dates for the physical appearances, online, but also dates for physical appearances of the successful applicants will be announced later. So application first starts with online. Now, the recruitment process will be conducted in 2 phases. Number 1, online application phase. All aspiring candidates must submit their applications online through the official UPDF recruitment portal, that is recruitment.updf.go.ug. Candidates applying online will be required to upload an application bearing a passport photo, academic documents, and a national ID. And number 2, successful applicants shall be shortlisted and uploaded on the UPDF website and shared with respective district headquarters. Physical recruitment will take place throughout the country, covering the 135 districts and 11 cities. The shortlisted applicants will individually report at the assigned recruitment centers for the physical medical interviews with the following. That is a handwritten application bearing recommendations from the LC1, 2, 3, and GISO and DISO as well. Then national
was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for being on UBC TV and on Good Morning Uganda. Welcome back from that short break. And in today's Real Conversation, we are having a conversation on coffee. Over the past 3 weeks, prices of coffee have dropped significantly. You can imagine a kilo of coffee dropping from 18,000 to 8,000. 1,000. That is such a drastic drop. And as farmers are worried and concerned over this, government says that coffee prices are determined by global buyers. Now, keep in mind that Uganda in May was registered as the highest coffee exporter in Africa, surpassing Ethiopia that has always held that flag. And looking at just what coffee does for Uganda in the year 2023-2024 fiscal year, Uganda exported 6.13 million bags of coffee valued at 1.14 billion US dollars, marking a 6.33% increase in volume and a 35.29% increase in value compared to the previous years. And the country has set a target to produce 20 million 60 kilogram bags of coffee by 2030, aiming for foreign exchange earnings of the US dollars 1.5 billion annually, and approximately 1.7 million small plot coffee farmers are involved in the industry. So that shows you that indeed coffee is such a backbone when it comes to Uganda's economy as well as livelihoods for the citizens of Uganda. But we are looking into this matter with Robert and myself, and to be a part of the conversation, please do engage 0709602592 and share your opinion as well as ask your question just in case we can answer it. But we are not experts, just sharing our 2 cents as citizens of Uganda who are affected by these events as they unfold. So Robert, let's start with the key reasons behind this drastic drop. Why all of a sudden? And yet we were, as Ugandans, we are getting the opportunity of being registered as the highest coffee exporter as of May, surpassing Ethiopia. Beating Ethiopia is such a milestone. And after that achievement, we receive, you know, the news and the event and the experience of coffee dropping for the past 3 weeks.
Now, first we must understand that we do not consume even 50% of the coffee grown in this country. Now, we rely on exporting coffee. If you remember very well, while we were in school, we used to be asked that question. I don't know if they still ask it. Name Uganda's cash crops. Now, these are crops we knew that we don't consume, but we just sell as a country. And you'd mention coffee, you'd mention cotton, you'd mention tea and tobacco.
Right.
The 2 C's, then the 2 T's. And there you would pass. Now, tobacco globally lost it. Because there is so much against use of tobacco. Tea globally lost it. And if you meet tea farmers today, they will tell you things are different.
Right.
Cotton, we lost that industry to say. It's not that very earning. So we remained with the coffee. But remember, domestic consumption is not there. There have been efforts, I keep on promoting, consume coffee, and many other initiatives. But it is something we grow for others to consume. No wonder majority of what we grow is taken without much value addition, as just dry coffee beans, and we export. Now, when you're not the buyer of something, there's someone who determines the price. There's someone who determines the tune because you're playing. They're the ones that are going to pay. Now, when you're growing coffee, it's not only Uganda that is growing coffee. There are other countries such as Brazil that are growing coffee as well. But remember, the price of coffee had just hiked as well. A kilo of coffee going for 18,000. We had a time where a kilo of coffee, where a kilo of coffee would go for 4,000.
Right.
Would go for 5,000. Now, when it shot up to 18,000, because other suppliers that are even more nearer to the markets where we are selling, because these are business people. The people that buy coffee are not buying out of charity. They are buying to consume. They are in business. Now, if I can get the same coffee from Brazil that may be nearer to me and maybe even of better quality, that may be nearer to me, Why then would I move so much to run to Africa in terms of transportation, sometimes even the times of delivery, the various certificates, because there are so many procedures that have to go through. Yet maybe here we have the same standards, something of that sort. So when Brazil is hit with drought, and this is where these people pick majority of their coffee, most of their coffee,
Right.
they will run to Uganda and take more. And if you did economics, you have what we call sub-factors that determine demand and supply.
Right.
Now, when the demand is so high, automatically the price of that commodity will shoot up.
Yes.
Now, when demand is low, definitely, and what makes demand low? Usually it is when there is a substitute that is cheaper, so people will go away, or when there is surplus in market. Now, we are at a time when there is surplus. Other countries such as Brazil that had drought now don't have the drought. Therefore, they have coffee. So the people that buy coffee, they know there is a surplus, there is so much on market. Definitely prices are going to go down. And remember, we've not had a fallback position that home we consume coffee. We may not, well, the people who initiated coffee, it was a cash crop by our colonial masters, but also we must understand Uganda, the culture of taking coffee is not with us. Why? Blessed by our weather.
Right.
Those people, many of them, the winter, the coldness requires you to take coffee because you're freezing. When you move on their streets, you'll find a lot of stopovers where you can get coffee. You're driving, someone is taking coffee, you know, because so they have reasons to take coffee that we may not have reasons to take coffee. Here at 2, can you take tea? At 2?
No.
You enter a restaurant, someone asks for tea. Can you take coffee? You can't. There at 2, at 1, at 3, if it is winter, you need coffee because much as you have all that is on you, you need to be warm. So for them, that is why it is a market. And they take coffee. Coffee is not just a beverage. It is a necessity that someone must take.
Right.
Now, come back home, it is different. And if you don't have a domestic consumption of something that is very high, and you're selling to the external market, where not the only supplier, when surplus happens, believe it, there must be fall of price.
And now, with that being said, let's look at what some of the farmers have had on their minds, especially in regards to the UCDA being integrated into the Ministry of Agriculture. For some farmers, this is part of the reasons for the drop. Would you actually confirm this? Would you agree with this statement or with this thought or school of thought in farmer circles?
Well, no doubt. The farmers have all right to think like that. Reason being one, the merger of Uganda Coffee Development Authority, taking it back to the mother Ministry of Agriculture,
Right.
Fisheries, there's so much that happened during that time. And a number of farmers believe that Uganda Coffee Development Authority was doing so much that the mother ministry cannot do as a specific entity focusing on coffee. Now, if it is about prices, I must say coffee prices were once at 4,000 a kilo.
Right.
They were at 5,000 a kilo. Now they had shot to 18,000 and it goes back to 8,000. By then the merger had not yet happened. I want to believe the merger had not yet happened. And we also must understand that sometimes government is slow at giving the right information to the people, explaining to them. I spoke to someone, though they refused to be interviewed on set. They are from Chibinge. It is a cooperative, a very prominent one in Masaka. Now, this group in Chibinge, they export coffee.
Right.
It's a cooperative, and they export about 14 containers a year full of coffee. And they're doing great business. And for them, they are doing it directly, not anything like they have the people, they know their markets, and they are doing very well. Life has changed for people in Chibingi under that cooperative. Mkuruso Wedding, Kutumideko, plus so many there. Now, they will tell you that the people who are giving us these orders, one, the orders have reduced. Not because there is another source that is giving more. Second, you in a business where it is not determined by governments, you know, because there's a time when governments will determine prices.
Right.
And you say, the price of sugar is this, don't sell above. The price of coffee, a kilo of coffee is this, don't sell above. But in global markets, there are very many factors that can raise price or reduce price. However, if you don't explain to the farmers very well, you cannot blame them to think that the merger of the Uganda Coffee Development Authority under the Mother Ministry has caused this. Because we saw the pressure that surrounded this entire thing. We saw the politicking that surrounded this entire thing.
Sure.
We know how a number of people who are not well explained are still grieving, are still annoyed because they feel the people they would see come and visit them, check on them, are no longer coming, advising them. UDCA was doing a tremendous job. And of course, we must say specialization cannot be equated to being under the same ministry. But we must also look at the reasons for these mergers. There was duplication of work. Yet government was paying so much to sustain these. If you looked at how many the EDs of these authorities were getting,
Right.
the workers, yet we believe if merged and given the proper resources, they can do better and save government so much. Why should we duplicate resources? I mean roles. So that being said, it doesn't rule out that the minds of people who are not convinced enough, or maybe they are not seeing what they used to see, and they will attribute this. But there's also a factor I don't want us to skip.
Right.
The PS didn't talk about it. In the interviews I've seen on various platforms. But also the issue of quality. Quality. Now, when you're competing with other countries that have had issues of nature and now they're overcoming them, Ugandans will still have a challenge with our quality of what we produce. I traverse this country, I'm a farmer, but I still find people who are drying coffee in ways that are not friendly. I still find people whose pre-harvest and harvest methods are very, very bad.
Right.
You can still move and you find someone's just stripped the ground and they are drying coffee from there. Now in coffee we drink the aroma. Us who love coffee, that
Yes,
aroma,
that's true.
that scent.
The stronger,
Now,
the better.
the better.
Yep.
You know, you take that cup and feel it and you're like, yes,
Yes.
this is good coffee. Now, coffee dried in soil. When you go to these machines, their quality also. So we must also now emphasize quality. Because if we do not emphasize quality, enforcement, what is going to happen? We are complaining that the kilo is now at 8,000. But other countries are going to do these things better. And ours may reach even 3,000.
Right.
And even when you look globally, all countries, the prices of coffee have reduced. So I don't want to think it's the merger that has reduced the price of coffee that Ethiopians are getting.
Right. So that shouldn't be a factor and one that should be ruled out. But indeed, as Robert has stated, government needs to be more aggressive when it comes to putting out the information that is needed for farmers so that assumptions are not what they live by. Getting into a bit of your comments, government's dependency is what has caused that to our cash crops like tea and coffee. This is Nick Hope, Uganda. Thank you so much for being on the show. Good morning, UBC team. This is Konge Godfrey. Thank you so much for the greeting. Good morning to you, and thank you so much for watching the show. Omugaga Saurembo, you say, okay, Kwendi Ngoberera. Thank you so much for watching. So, Robert, now, what do you think, in your perspective, what do you think government can have as a solution right now? Because if global markets are determining the prices, nothing much can be done. Clearly, it's not in the hands of the government to immediately change what is happening. But what can be done? What can be touched as a solution?
First is opening for bigger markets.
All right.
Let's not depend only on Europe. Let's do research. There are other countries that may give us good money. For example, China. When you look at the price China, if we penetrate that market, Asia and China, they have a very bigger population. Two, they also face the same conditions that warrant consumption of coffee. Right. So we've for a long time, I think, been complacent, contented with one market.
Right.
We need to penetrate. There is so much out there. How does our coffee get there? Now, when you have more markets and even better markets, you overcome this. For example, if I've been trading with you, Judy,
right.
I don't want to mention countries, but let me mention. If I've been taking my coffee to EU countries,
right.
But now, since we had the Brexit, then Britain goes out of there.
Right,
But the countries where I've been taking our coffee, and we've seen that these, because they consume a lot of coffee, they also have quite a number of suppliers. But there is a virgin market, which is China, that is buying at a better price than they are buying and has capacity to consume quite a number. So we just have to penetrate other areas, venture into virgin lands and take our coffee there. This is where government now should come in. That private public partnerships are very important. Let's look at how do you reduce, how do we fight the bureaucracy, how do governments as governments? You know, in marketing, we have Ugandans. I can go and start selling my milk, say, to China.
Right.
Me as a businessman, I venture, I penetrate that business. But it is very different when government and government meet and talk and foster this. So now it should be government as the marketeer, not the private sector, but as the marketeer, the permanent secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal in the Husbandry and whatever, to go now and look, government to spear this initiative. Talk to countries. We have coffee in Uganda. We have the top quality coffee in Uganda. We can offer this coffee now. Come to the private sector. How do you soften? How do you ease their transportation to take this coffee?
Now, speaking of markets, I'd also love to look at the domestic market. And I think Ugandans haven't, of course, like you elaborated clearly, Ugandans haven't appreciated the taking of coffee. Well, first and foremost, because of purposes of our weather, our culture, our nature, it doesn't push us to take coffee. Yet, it's when you get to experience it, it's actually something beautiful. And you'd think it's a market that is readily available for as long as the experience is taught to Ugandans and taught to them as to how to take coffee, enjoying coffee in itself. Do you think there's a gap in government and all players teaching Ugandans or showing Ugandans the beauty of taking coffee? Because that's a market that is just readily available, but we are not yet tapping into it.
Like you said earlier, and I said, factors that warrant the other people to take coffee are not the factors that are here.
But you know, Ugandans love FOMO.
But also, we must understand that there's something, our minds were corrupted to think that we can only earn money from coffee, not drink coffee. Now, we must push for people to understand and love coffee. We must change the package of the campaign. We must have ambassadors. You know, we must deliberately, if there are functions, don't serve the usual drink, serve coffee. You know, there must be a
the thing
deliberate
is,
effort.
The deliberacy has to also be to a layman.
Even to a layman.
To a layman that coffee is just readily available for you.
Coffee is readily available, cheap. And let me tell you, if you go to some of these good places and you ask for tea, they call it African tea.
African tea,
and then you ask for coffee, even the prices are very different. This, if it's 5,000, here they are telling you 15,000.
12, yes. 15.
So I think we need to have a deliberate move to promote consumption of coffee.
Right.
Yes.
Let's bring this conversation to a close with a couple of your comments. Good morning, Uganda. This is Odongo Joshua from Lira. Thanks for the show. I would really wish to find out why as soon the government took over coffee, then the price starts to drop drastically. I've heard your explanations very well, but I still believe there's a political influence attached to this. And also government of Uganda should think about value additions if at all they want to improve the lives of Ugandans. Good morning, Uganda. Good morning, UBC. Magomo David watching from Namubiru, Mukono. Nama, thank you so much for being on the show. Good morning, Uganda. This is Chasho Fred from Sironko District, Director, Sifted High School, Sironko. The only problem with our government, they take long to act. Otherwise, the merging to me is the problem. Previously, the price has been high. Please, it's a check to our government. Couple of questions, many of them actually coming through, and they always come through at the time when we are closing a particular point of discussion. But thank you. We always appreciate your interaction and being on the show. Now, today is a Wednesday, and Wednesdays will always have Uganda Cooperative Alliance in studio to speak to us. I think I look forward to engaging them on this question about coffee. But Robert, I would love to know, how do you love your coffee, with sugar or no sugar?
Oh, with a little bit of sugar,
African
but not with honey.
Or plain?
African coffee.
Right. Now, it sounds like it's raining heavily outside, so perhaps come that chill with a cup of good coffee. African, the better. Up next is GMU Tourism Express. I wonder if there's a conversation on coffee, but it's tourism and it's all about Uganda. This particular one is brought to you by the Uganda Tourism Board. Do enjoy it, and we'll be coming back with business and the agenda with Uganda Cooperative Alliance. Good morning, Uganda.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
A new dawn on Behind the Headlines with me, Timothy Nyangweso. Every Wednesday, live in our studios in the heart of Kampala, we have conversations that have analysis, explanation, but not every truth is fact, and not every fact is truth. Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
All on your public broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Juko.
Yo.
What you check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish Development Model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Good morning, and once again, thank you for joining us on UBC. For those that have made it this early morning with us, thank you. That was it from the newsreel, and we are coming in with Good Morning Uganda Tourism Express. With me in the house today is a king and a queen. I have royalties with me, and we'll be discussing how culture, is being promoted through beauty pageant. What contribution do they bring to the tourism industry? But before we get into that, I'm excited for what is happening in Uganda. We have the Rugby Africa Cup 2025 happening. It has attracted a number of people, and we also have visitors from the Republic of Turkey, a group coming in of influencers, tour operators. We've seen them visit Marshall Falls National Park. We've also seen them visit the Rhino Sanctuary, and also an equivalent of UTB called TUSA. Very critical influencers, and this is helping us grow, as a country. Let's see how we can attract them to keep coming in next time, probably for a vacation, and get to enjoy our beautiful country. You can see when they visit, they get to enjoy our Ugandan cuisines, the foods, learn probably a language, get to see how our culture is done here, how the people relate, which brings in large numbers. So very happy and excited for Uganda. Well, with me on set is Queen Anne, who is Miss Tourism Ankole, and as well as Mr. John, who is also a representative from Man of Tourism. They're going to be introducing themselves to us. I want them to first, hype you up in this cold morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Zakia Laki. Thank you for having me. Good morning, Uganda. Good morning, Ankole. My name is Anna Ahevomchisha, the current Miss Tourism Ankole 2025. I'm happy to be here.
Happy to have you. You look so beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Yes, good morning, Mr. John.
Thank you, Zakia. Good morning, and good morning, Uganda. I'm happy to be here, happy to share with you.
Amazing. We're happy to have you with us this morning. Now, as we go ahead to discuss tourism, the contribution that you bring, so many people know it, beauty pageants in terms of catwalking, looking so beautiful, but there's so much contribution that you bring into the tourism industry, which is what we are going to be talking about. Now, when I start with Queen Anne, please give us your journey. How has it helped you shape the new journey in tourism?
Thank you so much. Joining the tourism pageant, it has helped me grow as a person, and I have gotten to interact with very many people, gotten to network with people, and also learn something about tourism. And I also want to market my culture and Uganda at large and represent it well. Yes.
When we talk about the different regions that the both of you represent, how are these roles helping you in promoting your regions? When we start with Mr. John.
Well, thank you, Zakia. You see, being an ambassador, first of all, you are a role model. So being a role model, it means you're supposed to share and give a lot of advocacy to the youth out there. Apart from being a role model, I am an ambassador. It means I represent my culture. And representing my culture means I represent the people that I share the same identity with. And that does not only stop at my tribe, it goes beyond my tribe, it goes worldwide and countrywide, Uganda as a whole.
Talking about that, I actually see the way you're dressed.
Exactly, this is our cultural wear.
Amazing, from Teso region.
From Teso region.
Yes, now you talked about your ambassadorial roles within your reign. When we look at the initiatives that you have, what are they that contribute to the tourism sector as a king?
First of all, we have very many initiatives out there. Now, I engaged more in exploring talent and craft. That is the first initiative. Then also in the community, I am an educator. So I teach the youth out there, I teach students. So through teaching, I bring in aspects of culture, aspects of tourism. Remember, this is the generation that is coming after us. So you have to engage them little by little so that they get part of us.
Right, let's hear from Queen Anne.
Well, my initiatives as a person, one, I have to market my region and also collaborate with stakeholders and also share knowledge about my culture and my region, yes.
Now, when we get back to those moments that stood out for the both of you, where you felt like I have fully represented my region culturally, what moment was that?
That was during my visit last week at Kainela Farm, where I got to interact with different women in tourism because they are from different regions, and the farm, they offered us different cuisines from different regions. And so in Western Uganda, we had the Kalo and the Shawe. And so them coming from, different regions, they didn't know how it's eaten and how do we make it. So I had to share knowledge on how it's made, how it's processed, how you can best serve it. Yes.
Let's get to hear from you, John.
Well, I've been in very many cultural festivals. That was in 2023, the Ateker Carnival, 2023, 2022, and even last year. And I got a chance to engage with very many people from different regions, from Karamoja, from Acholi land. All those encompass the Ateker. So you see, when you meet different people from different regions, cultures, you get to share and you learn a lot from them. That is a very big impact because you only not look at your culture as the only thing you know. There is a lot to learn from Uganda, from different cultures. There is a lot, and it is actually beautiful. you should actually try and join us this year.
Why not if you have me invited? Yeah, when we look at the platforms that the both of you carry, how do they help in changing the narrative, especially in local tourism among young people?
Well, we have been, as tourism people, we have been organizing trips around our regions. For example, we can say we organize a trip to Lake Mburo, and of course the prices are pocket friendly. And so this initiative has been started to encourage young people out there, not only to spend your money in happening places, but to also experience your areas, because there are tourism sites that we learn about, we hear about them, but we have never been there. And so these initiatives that Miss Tourism Uganda puts in place are there to enable people to come, see these places, appreciate Uganda, because really we have so many beautiful places to be discovered, cultures to be, to share, learn. Yes.
Okay, thank you. A platform is something big, and sometimes it can be complex. As an individual, I'm a platform. I'm a platform myself. So as an individual, I use my platform. We have different platforms, by the way. I can use my language, the Ateso. I speak my language. I share my culture to the country, not only to fellow Iteso. I share my culture to the country. Then platform can also mean social media platforms. I use my social media platforms to post what I've seen around the country from my culture, and I sell it out to other cultures so that they know what beauty we hold in Teso.
When you talk about this, it takes me back to the way people outside view beauty pageants, but this specifically being tourism. How are you able to handle these misconceptions? Because from what people outside do know, like I started with earlier, they know about the catwalks and looking beautiful. But at the end of the day, when you listen to the things that you're saying about tourism and marketing the country, it's totally different. Yes. So how do you approach them with the misconceptions that are said about the tourism pageants?
Well, I would say someone has to be knowledgeable, one, and love for tourism. It's not all about being tall, slim, slender, or maybe curvy. As long as you are passionate about tourism and culture, then the platform is for you. Yes.
Well, we have a challenge. I think it is worldwide. Pageantry, when it comes to the males, is seen as feminine. Whoever participates in a pageantry is seen as someone who is not masculine enough. But it is a really big misconception, and it comes to how people perceive things. Well, I would like to inform people out there that pageantry is not a feminine thing. Through pageantry, we actually manage to expose a lot about ourselves, a lot about our country, Uganda. So, we actually, before even the country, a lot of us in culture, language, food, and everything. So, pageantry shouldn't be seen as something that is feminine, that is like it is for people who are beautiful, those who are slim, slender, that know how to catwalk. Well, if you try it now, I cannot catwalk like a lady, but I have to participate in pageantry. It is one of the ways I can expose my culture and, of course, participate in tourism in Uganda.
Interesting. We get to learn that you are moving to boot camp very soon. What are some of the things that happen in boot camp, and how do they contribute to personal growth or even skills?
Boot camp helps us to build teamwork, because most of the activities that now we are going to participate in, we do them as a team. And so it promotes unity with other queens, and then also build one's interpersonal skills. For example, how do you communicate with your fellows. Are you rude or you're polite? Also, how do you communicate with your trainers? Then secondly, leadership skills. When they assign you a task, how do you conduct? Yes. So those are some of the things that our boot camp promotes, so that when you're going to compete for the crown, you're not taking it as a very fierce competition, but you're also making it a point to relate with people and get to work together for the good of Uganda, because we come together to work for Uganda.
Yes, as we get to the closing, I'll get closing remarks from each one of you, and also an opportunity to tell us that one outstanding thing could be about culture or tourism in your region.
Okay. Well, I would like to encourage the youth out there that when you are presented with an opportunity, please take it on. It doesn't matter where you come from, but as long as you believe in yourself, please take it on. Because when I was joining pageantry, something that that compelled me to join was, I grew up from Central, and so my culture was very minimal. We had very limited people in those central schools. But when I met people who really love the culture and would encourage me, that is something that really pushed me. And I would like people to get to know that Ankole, yes, we still exist. We have a kingdom. Yeah, much as some of these facts have been lost in history or have been dying slowly, we still have our culture, and we are here to bring it to you.
Okay, let's hear from Mr. John.
Well, mine goes to the boy child out there. Let's not look at pageantry as a feminine thing. Let's not look at it as if it is for only the ladies. Let's take up the mantle. When you're given a chance to serve your country, to expose and showcase your culture, do it with a lot of passion, because this is us, it is our identity. We need to show the world out there what we have in Teso, in Uganda in general. So let's not look at it like, let the ladies only participate. So boy child out there, please, let's get on, let's be muscular, let's be masculine, and show the world what we have in Uganda.
Of course, leaving a message for a man out there. Face your fears, step in and take up the spaces, and see how you can also stand up and be a voice in regards to promoting your culture or even tourism. Lift your voice and be able to speak about the nice things in your region. The language, she did talk about it, she talked about their kingdom that still exists. So also stand up and speak for your region in regards to the platform that you have. Well, that was it from Good Morning Uganda Tourism Express. We are proudly sponsored by the Uganda Tourism Board, and we are still on Good Morning Uganda. Coming in will be Julie Nantaba with the business segment.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4 and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for always choosing UBC TV, and thank you to the Uganda Tourism Board for making sure that we do enjoy always that GMU Tourism Express moment in regards to Uganda's tourism. But time for business, and my name is Julie Nantabamosisi. Starting off with good news for Uganda's insurance regulator that has been awarded the International Standards Organization ISO 9001 to 2015 certification, a global benchmark for quality management systems in Uganda at that, but even the world all over. Now, at the acceptance event in Kampala, the insurance regulator committed to provide products and services that meet customer expectations and regulatory requirements. The ISO 9001 2015 certification represents a major milestone for the insurance regulator, marking its adherence to internationally recognized quality standards. It confirms that the organization has implemented effective processes and the organization and trained staff to ensure consistent delivery of high quality services. And according to the CEO IRA, the international certification follows a rigorous process that involved regular systems auditing and process alignment with the international best practices. ISO 9001 is a globally accepted standard for quality management systems, and it's aimed at improving customer satisfaction, operational efficiency, and organizational performance. According to the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, which supervises IRA, this certification is not just a badge of honor, but a call to action for the Insurance Regulatory Authority to raise the bar even higher in regulating Uganda's growing insurance sector. Now, moving on to matters energy. As Africa continues to grapple with the energy poverty and the environmental toll of over-reliance on biomass, experts are now calling for a shift toward innovative and green energy solutions. This call was made at the Global Bioenergy Partnership, and this was a conference currently underway in Kampala. And gracing over the opening ceremony, Dr. John Muyingo, the State Minister for Higher Education, emphasized the importance of multi-stakeholder collaboration in driving a sustainable and inclusive energy transition. In many developing countries, switching from traditional to modern bioenergy can have numerous social and economic benefits. And besides protecting the environment, it can also bring social and economic benefits, from improved health to reduced fuel imports and stronger energy scrutiny. However, The road to green energy is not without challenges. Uganda is hosting the 12th Global Bioenergy Partnership Week for bioenergy stakeholders from across the globe, including private sector representatives, to discuss the future of sustainable energy. The conference is not just about dialogue, it's also a hands-on. There are innovative bioenergy stoves and clean cooking technologies, practical solutions that could transform daily lives for millions of households still depending on firewood and charcoal. The conference will focus on Bioenergy Youth Day, building an enabling environment for the transition, advancing clean cooking access, tailoring solutions for a just and inclusive energy transition, and a field visit for the participants. Now, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, has hailed the government of China for granting duty-free and quota-free markets access to Ugandan products under the 98 tariff lines. He was receiving the Vice Chairman of the National Committee of the Chinese People Political Consultative Conference and Chairman of the Central Committee of the China Zhejiang Party in Kampala. Uganda exports fish, hides and skins, timber and coffee to China. These exports remain lower than imports from China, leading to a trade imbalance. In 2024, Uganda exported goods worth $54 million to China, while imports were worth $1.1 billion. The trade deficit is a growing concern. The Vice Chairman of the National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, Jiang Zuo-jun, led Chinese delegates and paid a visit to Uganda. The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, applauded China for granting duty-free and quota-free market access to Ugandan products. The Vice Chairman, Jiang Zuo-jun, emphasized China's commitment and cooperation with Uganda in trade, infrastructure, education, and health. As both countries address the trade imbalance, Uganda's call for technical support ensures that local producers benefit from access to the Chinese markets. Now, on that note, let's end that there and have a look at what the Forex rates look like. As of yesterday, the 8th of July 2025, the US dollar opened at 3,586.95 and was selling at 3,596.95, and by midday, it had increased to 3,588.36 and selling at 3,598.36. Slightly dropped at its close, buying at 3,587.82 and selling at 3,597.82. The British pound was buying at 4,888.76 and selling at 4,902.38, and the euro was buying at 4,209.58 and selling at 4,221.32. The Kenyan shilling still remains at 27.75 and sells at 27.83, and the Tanzanian shilling as well still remains at 1.35 and selling at 1.36. The South African rand was buying at 201.55 and selling at 202.11. Well, that's it from GMU Business today, but up next is the agenda. We do have the Uganda Cooperative Alliance in studio with us. So if you are a cooperator, if you wish to join the cooperative movement, if you look forward to joining, or if you just don't know but want to know more about cooperatives movement in Uganda, it's time for you to indeed settle, sit tight and engage. 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number available for you to be a part of the show as we engage in this conversation and as we welcome them back from the celebration of the International Cooperatives Day, which was on the 5th of July last Saturday. Good morning, Uganda. The show still goes on.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
It's a FlexiPay cashback explosion. Shop and pay with your FlexiPay cashback.